right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Our weather impact alert continues as temperatures are dropping through the single digits right now. Why Friday morning will feel different than this morning and when the frigid air moves out.
A moving memorial serving as a chilling reminder.
There's so many that are dying out here on the streets.
Tonight, the call to city leaders to protect the homeless from the dangerous cold. The final report, chilling new video tonight of a gunman opening fire along a busy street, just moments before police took drastic measures.
Right now, we're nearing the end of our days-long weather impact alert. We still have one more brutally cold night to get through with temperatures plunging back into the single digits overnight. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. The good news tonight, a weekend warm-up will follow our frigid Friday morning wake-up. Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here, tracking the temperature, Scott.
You know, the temperatures are dropping pretty quickly tonight. We have snow on the ground. The wind has died down, so that's a bonus. But with that wind dying down, it actually means some of us will be colder tonight than last night. So through 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, we continue our weather impact alert for this bitter cold. These are temperatures where pipes can freeze and you can have water problems. And of course, we all have to have the layers getting outside. Look at Salem, Missouri, already dropping to 4 degrees below zero. DeSoto's down to 3. Chesterfield at 7, Sullivan and Warrenton already down to 5. Winds are pretty light across the region, and they're continuing to slacken. Farmington's down to 4 degrees along with Perryville. Most likely, you'll be below zero in those areas tonight. If you have faucets and you've had problems with that faucet along the outer walls with plumbing freezing when it gets cold like this with these single-digit temperatures, you probably want to have that water dripping overnight. Open the cabinet doors, let some of that heat in. Dogs and cats want to be inside too. Make sure your smoke detector's working. A lot of ice coming down the Missouri River. Paul shared that picture with us on our 5 on Your Side Weather Watchers Facebook group. Look at your morning temperatures. 3, both at 6 and at 7 with a bright sky as the sun comes up. Wind chills also 3. Wind should be very light. That will allow that snow cover to just kind of accentuate the cold force. But at least we don't have wind chills tomorrow morning.
Hours ago, a memorial service was held for a homeless woman who died in the freezing temperatures outside St. Louis City Hall.
Today, we learned her identity. New tonight, Robert Townsend shows how her tragic death is still sparking heated conversations about how the city treats and supports its unhoused population.
We now know Jennifer Pendleton was the homeless woman who died in the frigid cold outside St. Louis City Hall Tuesday morning. Pendleton was 36 years old and originally from Ohio.
This is such a grieving time. A lot of homeless are dying out here that are not even being reported.
Thursday afternoon, New Life Evangelistic Center's outreach team, friends of Pendleton, and homeless advocates gathered at 14th and Clark, where investigators said Pendleton huddled around steam from a manhole cover before she died. The woman's death has outraged many, including longtime homeless advocate Larry Rice.
And that's why the city could start out with having a day center open all day long.
A spokesman for Mayor Tashara Jones says the city is doing everything it can to help its unhoused population. We're also told the number of shelter and transitional housing beds funded by the city is at the highest it's been under Jones's leadership. Yet that's not putting a freeze on the fallout following Pendleton's death. And here at City Hall, Pendleton's tragic death has also now rekindled a hot debate on homeless shelter issues between two St. Louis alderpersons. 2 years ago, 7th Ward Alderwoman Alicia Saunier sponsored a bill calling for the city to reform its process for opening its homeless shelters. Her initial bill failed by a single vote. Saunier said had Alderwoman Kara Spencer and a current mayoral candidate not voted present, the measure would have passed. A year later, the board passed a different Saunier-backed bill.
One of the things that I think I have a responsibility to do is to make sure that as a city we're not just having these conversations in the winter when people are dying in the cold.
The initial one had some real issues, particularly with neighborhoods.
What is clear, many agree more needs to be done to help these people. Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
The medical examiner is still looking into Jennifer Pendleton's death, but says it may have been weather-related.
The sub-zero temperatures are keeping Missouri American water crews busy. They were out today repairing multiple water main breaks all across St. Louis County. There have been at least 10 breaks since Tuesday. Missouri American says when these happen, when the water is passing through, the pipes start to freeze. They add each break can take up to 8 hours to fix. Signs of a water main break include discolored or cloudy water and a drop in water pressure.
And a reminder, your weather impact forecast is always available. Just text the word weather to 314-425-5355 and we'll send it straight to your phone.
We are following a developing story out of Belleville. Police are investigating a double stabbing at the Walmart store off Carlisle Avenue. Happened about 2 hours ago. 2 victims were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A suspect was arrested at the scene. The stabbing led to the store closing 3 hours early tonight.
Chilling new video tonight of an incident last month on West Florissant where a man fired shots at St. Louis County Police.
Officers ended up hitting Darrell Dorn with a patrol car. He died later at the hospital. 5 on your sides, Laura Barcheski has poured through the police incident report and is here to break it all down. Laura?
Mike and Kelly, St. Louis County Police showed several different angles of the incident in the nearly 20-minute long video they released, confirming numerous shots were fired at officers. We do want to warn you, some of the video you're going to see is disturbing.
St. Louis County Police say this all started on January 13th with a car crash at West Florissant and Lucas and Hunt. The man we now know as 37-year-old Darrell Dorn hits a snowbank, then gets out of the dark-colored SUV.
Officers were advised that a male driver of one of the involved vehicles left the scene on foot and was firing a weapon at passing vehicles and into the air.
In dash camera video, 2 St. Louis County police officers catch up to him as he's walking down West Florissant in the middle of traffic with a handgun. This is the view from one of their body cameras.
Drop the gun!
Near the bridge at Solway Avenue, officers fire back. Dorn runs off and both officers get into a patrol car together.
He shot at you, bro. I watched him shoot. I'm gonna hit him. We're running more.
The officers find Dorn at West Florissant and Ferguson, hit him with their patrol car, then immediately get out, handcuff Dorn, and start CPR.
Boy, we're taking him to custody. We're all secure, West Florissant and Ferguson.
Police say evidence shows Dorn fired this handgun with an extended magazine 10 times. Only 9 shell casings were found. In total, 16 shots were fired by officers.
This portrayal is not intended to draw any conclusions about whether the officers involved acted consistent with the department's policies and the law until all the facts are known and the investigation is finalized.
Dorn was taken to the hospital where he died. 5 on your side talked with Dorn's family shortly after it happened. They had a lot of questions and emotions after his tragic death.
He dealt with mental illness all his life. He was bipolar and schizophrenic. You didn't know he had any illness or anything. Y'all didn't ask or anything, you know? Y'all just killed him dead, shot him in, ran him over. Where's the justice? There's no justice here.
Police say one officer was injured in his hand, during this incident, and then he was treated at the scene. The investigation is not over yet, but police say both officers are no longer on leave and currently assigned to the Division of Patrol.
New tonight, we're learning 2 St. Clair County Sheriff's Department officers were sent to the hospital after being assaulted. Officials say they were doing a wellness check of a child on South 15th Street in Belleville. Officers tell us they were attacked by a 31-year-old man when they got there. He tried to take one of their guns and it went off during the struggle. Nobody was injured by the shot and other officers were able to arrest the suspect. Both officers were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Tonight, a suspected serial rapist in West St. Louis County remains in jail hours after a judge denied him a bond reduction. Yahya Mali is accused of raping and kidnapping 5 women he met on dating apps. He represented himself in court today and argued for his release, claiming he wasn't a flight risk or a danger to the community. Prosecutors told the judge he was, quote, the definition of danger to a community and should be kept in jail.
As one said to me today, this is the first time she's been able to actually feel some peace, knowing that she is safe from him and that he will not be able to attack her again. And so that is an overarching concern for us with this case.
Another victim came forward to police today. Right now, prosecutors believe there still could be more victims, and any victims can call St. Louis County investigators. That number is 314-615-5400.
Tonight, we're hearing from the newly appointed superintendent for St. Louis Public Schools. The Board of Education announced it voted this week to appoint interim superintendent Dr. Millicent Bordechade to the role. She replaces Dr. Keisha Scarlett, who was fired over concerns about her spending and hiring practices. Dr. Bordechade sent us a statement tonight saying she's, quote, excited to step into this role permanently and very thankful for the school board's confidence in her as they continue to do great work for their students, end quote. A board member we talked to says she is the right person to get the district back on track.
Dr. Boris-Shadeh has been putting in the time. I mean, almost 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. She's got the heart for it, the integrity to do this, the honesty to do this, and most importantly, the drive.
Dr. Boris-Shadeh has received her permanent superintendent certification from the state.
Tonight, city leaders are reacting just hours after a bill to put St. Louis police back under state control passed in the Missouri House.
The legislation still needs Senate approval. House Bill 495 would set up a new board of police commissioners to oversee SLMPD. The change was a main campaign promise from Governor Mike Kehoe. Mayor Shashara Jones and Chief Robert Tracy staunchly opposed the move, arguing supporters can explain how it would make St. Louis safer. In a statement, Mayor Jones says supporter of the bill cannot, quote, explain why they are so determined to overturn the will of the nearly 2/3 of Missourians who voted for local control. Today's vote is politics at its worst, end quote.
Chief Tracy is also responding tonight. He says, quote, SLMPD continues to make incredible progress under local control in this administration. While lawmakers make political decisions in Jefferson City that affect St. Louis, my top priority will remain on ensuring the safety of our residents, visitors, and officers.
Filing fraud, the new scam putting your tax refund at risk.
They're going to be very persuasive in trying to get that money now.
Tonight we expose the high-tech tricks of scammers.
One last night of this brutal cold, the temperature trend we can all get behind, and why it may feel about 70 degrees warmer than this morning in St. Louis by Monday afternoon.
Tonight, 5 on Your Side partnered with the Missouri History Museum for a Black History celebration. Our own Brent Solomon and I moderated the event at the museum. We spoke with local Black musicians, artists, poets, and visual artists about celebrating Black joy, the power of art, and honoring the legacy of Black history through creativity. The 8 panelists shared how they got started in the industry, their struggles, successes, and advice for anyone pursuing a career in the arts. And if you missed the event in person or our live stream, you can watch all of it right now on the 5+ streaming app. You can download it by searching KSDK on your Roku, Apple, or Fire TV.
St. Louis City Hall held its own Black History Month celebration tonight. The city held an awards ceremony honoring African American community leaders. Leaders used the event to speak on the importance of diversity in St. Louis. City officials say tonight's event was only the first in a series of heritage events they have planned at City Hall for the rest of 2025.
Tax season is here, and it's prime time for scammers ready to steal personal info and drain bank accounts.
And tonight, Paula Bassan shows you their high-tech tricks and what you can do to protect yourself and your refund.
It starts with a call, a text, or an email, someone claiming to be with the IRS. They tell you there's an issue with your return. Maybe you owe back taxes. Maybe you need to verify personal information. But the St. Louis Better Business Bureau says it's all a scam.
The tax filing deadline is April 15th. And so that's why we just have to start being on the lookout for this, because scammers know that everybody's starting to get those W-2s if they haven't had them already.
Mike Schumack with cybersecurity firm Identity IQ tells us a new trend he's seen ramping up.
Now with AI, it's wild because you can get very specific about the information you're asking from somebody, and you can also relate to them a little more personally. It helps people feel more comfortable with revealing information that they normally wouldn't want to reveal.
Once criminals have your information, they can file a tax return in your name, stealing your refund before you even file. Last year, the median loss from tax scams was more than $2,300. Experts want you to know the IRS will never call, text, or email without first contacting you by mail. So don't give out any personal information before you're certain you're communicating with the IRS. Scammers prey on fear and urgency. Don't fall for it.
They may even threaten arrest or fines, but at the end of the day, you have to take that step back.
Your best protection?
File early. As soon as you have your documents, make sure that you are filing them, because then that prevents that time when scammers can try to get in there and file the return in your name for you.
The IRS estimates scammers steal billions of dollars through tax fraud each year. And with AI making scams more sophisticated, experts warn that number could climb even higher this year. If you think you've been targeted, report it to the IRS, the FTC, or BBB's Scam Tracker. Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
If you believe you're the victim of a phishing scam, the IRS recommends you to email them directly at phishing@irs.gov. You can also find more resources in the As Seen on TV section on KSDK.com, or text the word taxes to 314-425-5355 and we'll send you a link.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with the weather impact forecast. Finally, we have one more night.
And then a warm-up.
Finally a warm-up.
You know, tomorrow afternoon we'll be back into the mid-20s, maybe upper 20s. That'll feel so much better than this morning. Wind chills this morning, 15 to 20 degrees below zero for most of us. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of wind right now, but you see Arnold still with the snow on the ground, just dropped to 7 degrees there. Pacific's at 7, 9 in Baldwin. Baldwin was a degree below zero this morning. Areas south and southwest of St. Louis, traditionally some of our coldest spots anyway, still with that fresh pack of snow. High pressure's kind of sprawled out across the area, which means our winds will be light. And with the skies remaining mostly clear, we will see those temperatures drop back to around zero by early tomorrow morning. So through 9 a.m., we are expecting that weather impact alert for this one more bitter night that could cause some pipe bursting low temperatures. Of course, going outside, you'll need a couple of extra layers again tomorrow morning. Here we go through the overnight hours. We show you that by 4 o'clock, the temperature and the wind chill are running side by side. That's because the winds die as we head towards daybreak. Temperatures this time of year, well, normally on a clear, calm night, you get good radiational cooling, right? Well, we've added snow to the mix, and so when you put that snow on the ground, you maximize that cooling because the snow is already cold and you lose all of the heat available. And as a consequence, that's why we're looking at temperatures tomorrow morning about as cold as we saw this morning in many cases, and in some cases even colder. You've probably noticed along the Missouri River some ice coming downstream. Paul Wilcoxon shared that with us from Washington, Missouri. 0 today officially at Lambert. That wasn't a record. 4 degrees below zero is our record low for today, but 29 is the average this time of year. Now, yes, it's still cold tomorrow, but the folks over at Energizer Park will be busy getting everything ready for Saturday as soccer returns to St. Louis. It will do so without much fanfare from the weather department, and we're pleased with that. Tomorrow in St. Louis, outside of your early morning cold temperatures, by 2, 3, 4 o'clock, you're back into the mid to upper 20s, and wind chills will only be about 5 degrees off of the actual temperature. So again, much better than it has been. It's just those first few hours tomorrow morning that are pretty brutal. City SC taking the pitch 7:30. Against Colorado. Temperatures will be in the 30s, dropping back into the upper 20s, but without much wind. We can handle that. 38 or so for the high on Saturday. Should be a bright sky. Looking at a pretty decent day on Sunday as we climb back into the lower 50s for highs Sunday afternoon. It gets even better into next week. 12 degrees right now in St. Louis, officially at Lambert, the dew point 0. Still have a little bit of a breeze. Once that becomes calm, and even if it only stays calm for 20 or 30 minutes, your temperature drops. Wind picks back up and the temperatures warm back up. That's going to play out overnight. Some spots south and west of St. Louis, again, running down in those temperatures that will be in the single digits, both above and below zero. So that's why we have just the first part of tomorrow with that weather impact alert. And then look at these numbers. Doesn't this make you happy? Makes you smile, puts a smile on your face going into the weekend, because we're looking at near 60 on Monday, near 60 on Tuesday. I mean, you know, Frank's going to be coming in here wearing his shorts and his flip-flops. Yes.
Yeah,
a little extra pep in our step.
That is very good news. Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, we have it all tonight. Marshall Faulk, Wilson Contreras, and a little thing with Canada and USA playing hockey. We'll be right back. The Four Nations Face-Off Championship game was so fabulous that you actually got chills before the game. ESPN started the broadcast with Kurt Russell's speech from the movie Miracle. Jordan Binnington won a Game 7 in this building. You may remember that. Brady Tkachuk was rooting for him 6 years ago. On this night, he was scoring against him. And look at the raw emotion. We're tied at 1 after 1. His brother Matthew had to leave the game early. Canada tied the game at 2 in the second on this goal by Sam Bennett. Binner has had some big saves in the third, and right now it's a 2-2 game in overtime. Just wanted to give you a little flavor for how St. Louis was loving this game. This is O.B. Clarkson Brentwood. Try the pizza. A place where the Stanley Cup has been multiple times. It was wall-to-wall people, and it's also a place where the Tkachuks have been over 100 times.
Taking flight. Card Spring Training, sponsored by Woods Basement Systems.
For all the talk of youth in Cardinals camp, the club is not without veterans. For Wilson Contreras, 2025 brings its own set of challenges, but loyalty was never one of them. Corey Miller has more from Jupiter.
The Cardinals signed Wilson Contreras as their heir to Yadier Molina behind home plate. After just 2 seasons, Wilson's time behind the plate is over. He's a first baseman now and trying to excel in his new surroundings. One thing that has never changed, though, is Wilson's loyalty to the Cardinals. This is where he wants to be.
I think of my relationship with the team is like a marriage. So at first, when you're married to someone and you start getting a roller coaster of emotion, you just don't quit, right? You try to work out things and talk about things and get better. So that's what I did here. I think I give them my word that by the time that I leave the organization, I have to leave it better than what I found. And that's why I stick with the team. And besides that, just because I love the team. I love it here. And I love my teammates. I think we're gonna have a really good lineup from top to bottom. We have a really good energy around, and the younger guys are just willing to play and they're hungry to play.
With a bit of added weight and the burdens of catching now off his back, we could be primed for an offensive outburst from Contreras here in 2025. Reporting from spring training, I'm Corey Miller, 5 on Your Side Sports.
Good stuff, Corey. You know, there's only one city in America who can say, we were once the home of the greatest show on turf. And tonight at the historic downtown Missouri Athletic Club, they held a reunion for that great Rams team. How about that scene? Marshall Faulk and Dick Vermeil. I asked Marshall when he knew they were going to be special.
When you don't know, you continue to work hard and you continue to put the effort in, understanding that once you get to the playoffs, you can lose and it can be over. And we wanted to make sure it wasn't over. So we didn't know. We weren't sure, but what we were sure about was that we were going to be ready, we were going to play hard, and we were going to fight to the end.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
City SC has traded a fan favorite to Philadelphia. Indiana Vasilev will be reunited with his former coach Bradley Carnell. City SC will receive allocation money in return. He appeared in 63 of City's 68 matches, and he had 5 goals and 8 assists. Ryan McCarthy and Parkway South having a good season at Hazelwood East tonight. Sam Duncan will get the loose ball, and Tucker Swinton with the emphatic slam right there. Tyron Frazier with a slick move inside right there, a little up and under. Spartans win 60-56. Billiken Hall of Famer Erwin Claggett coaching for SLU at Chaminade tonight. Sebastian Tate, Corey's son, with the power move on the block. Good looking athlete there. But Chaminade is dominating inside. Jahidi White Jr. with feeling, and Chaminade wins again. 71-52, and we have an update on the hockey game. Canada has won it 3-2 in overtime.
What a game, though.
Oh,
what
my
an
goodness.
amazing
Yeah.
game.
And good news, because we did want Jordan Binnington to come back to St. Louis feeling down. He wins another big game in that building in Boston.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Frank, thanks very much.
All right, it's time for the cookie craze. The Girl Scout sales blitz starting tomorrow. Plus, the new sweet treat to pair with your favorite flavors.
National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend kicks off tomorrow. Cookie lovers will be able to order their favorite flavors online or have them delivered to their doorstep. Scouts will also begin their booth sales tomorrow outside area stores.
Also starting tomorrow, you can get your thin mix Thin Mint Fix at Wendy's. The fast food chain is beginning to sell its new Thin Mint Frosty. Wendy's is also letting Scouts set up their booths outside some of its restaurants.
Sounds really good with a taco salad. I'm going through the drive-thru tomorrow.
And the Girl Scouts will be out. It's going to get a little warm.
It's going to get warmer for them, especially by the time we get to Saturday into this weekend. So here are the temperatures right now. We still have our weather impact alert through tomorrow morning. Look, it's already 2 in DeSoto, 5 degrees below zero down in Salem. Bet Cook Station's right behind that. We're going to see temperatures pretty close to zero tomorrow, give or take a little bit to the west and southwest of St. Louis where the snow is deeper. Tomorrow afternoon, though, we're back to 27. Should be bright into the weekend.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis starting at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.